Good day everyone, hope you are doing well. I am Dr. Cheng Hak-Wee from Faculty of Agro-Based Industry of UMK Jenny Campus. Today we are going to learn how to develop students' learning time towards producing the constructive alignment principles. Before we start, we need to know some of the terms. We need to know what is the meaning of credit, what is the meaning of academic load, notional credit, and students' learning time. Alright, let's move to the first term, credit. Credit is the quantitative measure that represents the volume of learning or academic load to attain the set of learning. Next, we move to academic load. Academic load is a quantitative measure of all learning activities required to achieve a defined set of learning outcomes. These activities include lecture, tutorial, seminar, practical, self-study, research, fieldwork, as well as preparing for and sitting of an examination. One is notional credit. Notional credit is the standard unit that takes into account all academic-related activities performed by the student, regardless of the teaching mode. Remember, the keyword is student's activity, not the lecturer. For your information, one notional credit is equivalent to 40 hours of students' learning time, or simplified as SLT. Now, let us look at the flow of the constructive alignment principles to make you understand better. First is the credit, which is the measurement of students' academic load. The academic load includes all the learning activities such as lecture, project work, study tour, demonstration, tutorial, presentation, case study, assignments, laboratory, examination, directed reading, fieldwork, and so on. All these learning activities will be calculated as students' learning time, or SLT. In order to calculate the number of notional credits, we have to sum the total of SLT and divide it by 40. Remember, one notional credit is equivalent to 40 SLT. A student is considered to be qualified to graduate if he or she obtains the minimum of 120 notional credits, which is equivalent to 4,800 hours of SLT. And this 4,800 SLT is composed of all the teaching and learning plus assessment. Remember, the lectures, project work, study, tour, demonstration, tutorial, presentation, case study, assignments, laboratory, all of them contribute to the teaching and learning plus assessment. All these are required in order to achieve the learning outcomes. One thing we have to take note is the factors that we have to consider in calculating the notional credit. They are the face-to-face or guided learning time, student self-learning time, and the total assessment time. Alright, let us pause for a while and recall back what we have learned. Recall back what is the meaning of credit, notional time, academic load, students' learning time. Let's proceed to the next section. In this session, we are going to learn how to map the course learning outcome, or so-called as CLO, to the program learning outcome, PLO, and assigning their respective weightage. Let's take an example of a subject I'm teaching, Soil Science FPT 2093. There are a total of 4 course learning outcomes. Let's proceed to the first step. The first CLO is categorized as Cognitive Level 4. It is met with PLO number 1, which is Knowledge. The delivery method is through lectures, and the teaching tools used are PowerPoint presentation, videos, e-learning, and blank space. The assessment tasking is testing on knowledge basis. Thus, the students are being assessed through midterm tests, which is 10%, and final examination 40%. The total weightage of this CLO is 50%. The second CLO is categorized as Psychomotor Level 1. It is met with PLO2, which is psychomotor and practical skills. The delivery method is via laboratory practicals such as hands-on experiments. The assessment tasking is testing on the students' practical skills. Thus, the students are being assessed through lab reports and lab tests. The total weightage is 20%. The third CLO is categorized as Affective Level 2. It is met with PLO number 5, which is communication and team skills. The delivery method is via group assignment. Students are being assessed through group assignment, which tests on their team discussion skills. The total weightage for this CLO is 10%. The fourth CLO is categorized as Communication Skill Level 1. It is met with PLO number 6, which is critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Students are given individual assignment and presentation skills in this CLO. They are being assessed by individual assignment and presentation, which tests on their critical thinking and problem solving. The total weightage for this CLO is 20%. For your information, this subject has 3 notional credits, which is 2 plus 1, which means there are 2 hours of lecture per week and 3 hours of laboratory practical session per week. Now, let's move to the next section, which is how to calculate the SLT. Back to the first CLO, which is Cognitive Level 4, it is met with PLO number 1, Knowledge, and has a weightage of 50%. Since this course has 3 notional credits, it indicates it has a total of 120 hours of SLT. Since the weightage is 50%, thus there are 60 hours of SLT in this CLO. The second CLO is Psychomotor Level 1. It is met with PLO number 2, which is Psychomotor and Practical Skills. It has a weightage of 20%. Again, since this course has a total of 120 hours of SLT and the weightage is 20%, thus this CLO is allocated with 24 hours of SLT. Let's move to the third CLO, which is Affective Level 2. It is met with PLO number 5, which is Communication and Team Skills, and has a weightage of 10%. Since this course has a total of 120 hours of SLT and a weightage of 10%, Thus, 12 hours of SLT is allocated in this CLO. The last CLO is Communication Skill Level 1. It is mapped with CLO number 6, which is Critical Thinking and Problem Solving Skills. It has a weightage of 20%. Since this course has 120 hours of SLT and a weightage of 20%, thus 24 hours of SLT is allocated for CLO number 4. By summing up all the SLT allocated for all the 4 CLOs, we will get a total of 120 hours of SLT. Remember, in calculating the SLT, we must not only consider the face-to-face or guided learning time. We must also need to include the student's self-learning time and total assessment time. Let's look at the example. The first CLO has 60 hours of SLT. For lecture, there will be 2 hours of lecture in 14 weeks, which brings a total of 28 hours. Midterm tests will be carried out in 1.5 hours. Final examination will be carried out in 2.5 hours. So all total brings to 32 hours of face-to-face time and assessment time. In order to calculate the student's learning and preparation time, we need to take 32 hours, subtract from 60 hours, thus 28 hours is allocated for students' preparation time in CLO1. So for the 28 hours, students need 1 hour to prepare for every lecture in 14 weeks, 5 hours to prepare for the midterm test, and approximately 8 hours to prepare for the final examination. Now, example number 2. CLO2 has a total of 24 hours of SLT. For laboratory practical, there will be 3 hours per week, and lab practical will be carried out for 7 weeks, which brings a total of 21 hours of face-to-face time. So, the student has 3 hours of preparation time in CLO2. By dividing 3 hours into 7 lab practical sessions, students need approximately 30 minutes to prepare for each laboratory practical session. The third CLO has a total of 12 hours of SLT. Students are assessed via group assignment with 1,000 words. The student preparation time for this CLO will be 12 hours. The fourth CLO has a total of 24 hours of SLT. This CLO involves a 2,000 words individual assignment and a 15-minute presentation. Thus, the students need 20 hours to prepare for a 2,000 words assignment and 4 hours to prepare for a 15-minute presentation. So this is the table summary of the SLT for each CLO mapped with the PLO with their respective weightage, assessment, tasking, and delivery method. In order to assess the constructive alignment principles, we need all this information. For more information on the videos and please welcome to go to my brand space to download the video.